Welcome back to another weekly preview where we go over the best possible stream options for the upcoming week in fantasy hockey. We're already on week 10 of the season, which is crazy to say that we're almost at the halfway point. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys are doing in your leagues. Are you struggling? Are you winning? What's something that you want to see out of us that you feel could really help you improve in fantasy hockey in the next little bit before the holidays? Would love to provide you guys some videos. I know some of you mentioned a trade targets video. We're definitely cooking one up before the holiday season for you. So look forward to that coming up. But let's get into the video, guys. These are your best possible streamer options for forwards, defensemen, and goaltenders for week 10 of fantasy hockey. Starting us off, we have the best schedule. It's pretty typical out of the NHL. Again, you've got the Monday, the Wednesday, the Friday, and the Sunday, which are the off nights for this upcoming week. On the Friday, there is only one game being played. So again, just something to keep in mind that, not a lot is happening on that Friday. But for the best scheduled teams, we have the Sabres and the Rangers. They both play 4 games. They both have 3 off nights. Then you've got the Ducks and the Blackhawks, which 4 games, 2 off nights. And then a handful of teams that play 4 game and 1 off nights. The Blue Jackets, the Leafs, the Wild, and the Blues. For your max games for this upcoming week, what you want to do is you want to stream a Anaheim Duck early on in the week and then drop them on Thursday. Pick up a Carolina Hurricane. That will get you 5 games on the week with 4 off nights as the best possible min-max for you to get the best schedule for this upcoming week for those of you that have a limited number of ads. Moving on to the worst schedule, again, pretty typical busy night, the Tuesday, the Thursday, the Saturday. These are really heavy nights this upcoming week, so you're going to be pretty jam-packed in terms of scheduling for your players. So pick and choose in that sense. If you have somebody on this team that you can afford to drop, Dallas has been really weird this year. A lot of their secondary scoring is really carrying their team. You've seen guys like Wyatt Johnson, Jason Robertson really struggle early on. I'm not too worried just yet. You kind of have to hope that they bounce back, but if you can afford to drop somebody like super deep on your team that is on one of these rosters, I would definitely go ahead and do so if you're really struggling early on in the week or in your leagues. Especially, you want to be streaming guys as much as you possibly can without giving up high-end players and dropping them. For my week 10 priority streams, we have a handful of Sabres and Rangers along with one particular St. Louis Blue who's been popping off recently. We'll get to Jake Neighbors in a second, but Will Cooley's been fantastic. He's having a breakout year. He's got 20 points on the year already, and that's not even the best part about him. He has a ridiculous floor with how much he hits, blocks, and shoots on top of that. Left wing, 41% owned. He does play line 3. I'm not worried about that just because of how consistent the peripherals have been on a per 60 basis. Like, it's insane. He's getting power play 2 time as well, so you get some benefit out of that every once in a while. And I know the Rangers like to play their power play 1 pretty significantly, so you get a little bit of power play time there at a Cooley, but that's not why you're drafting him. I'm not worried about that he's on line 3. He still gets around like 15-16 minutes a game, and he will get you a ton in terms of peripherals, and the scoring has been there pretty consistently throughout the season, so he's my number 1 target. Dylan Cousins has also been great. The production hasn't really been there consistently this year, but again, the peripherals, the shot volume is really good with Cousins. He will get you some good hit volume on top of that, and then he's already at 20 blocks on the year. So again, a good mix of peripherals and floor. He's getting line 2 minutes, top 6 minutes, and then power play 1 time as well, alongside guys like Tage Thompson. So good exposure in that sense as well. Jake Neighbors has absolutely popped off. He's an absolute must-add right now. He's got a 4-game schedule this upcoming week with only 1 off night. He's been great. The shot, he'll get you 2 or 3 shots a game. He'll get you like 3 to 5 hits a game on top of that. So left, right wing eligible, 20% owned, line 1, power play 1, skating alongside Robert Thomas and Buchnevich, I think. I think they moved Kyber down to the second line. So he's just an absolute must-add for me. Like, if he's available in your league, I highly recommend grabbing him. Jason Zucker and Capo Caco, for those of you that are in some deeper leagues, are some good options. Zucker, you're getting power play 1 exposure. Again, the scoring won't be there for both of them. Caco's been a little bit better this year. But again, you're just pretty much grabbing them for their peripherals and the fact that, they're low ownership, so you're not going to get a great player. But for those of you that are in deeper leagues, you want someone with some power play exposure. You want somebody that's on a line that's producing. And that third line for the Rangers have been really good. Kako, again, on the Sunday, just literally had a point as well. I believe it was a goal. So just double check that. But again, he's been solid. He's a good deep league option for you at 3% owned. For those of you that are in super deep leagues that can't get to like a Cousins and Neighbors, would recommend grabbing one of these guys just given their schedule. For my other forward streams, again, this will be a mixed bag for guys that don't necessarily have the best schedule, but have been great as of late. Troy Terry's been fantastic. He's got 7 points in his last 7 games, all of which are assists, but he does have a pretty good shot volume. He gets you 2 to 3 shots. It doesn't really hit too much, and the occasional block here and there, but he is line 1, power play 1, and he's been really solid as of late in terms of the scoring. Hasn't really scored too many goals, so if you weight goals a little bit heavier, this might not be the best at it. But at 19% owned, if he's available, he's got 4 games, 2 off nights on this week. You can just stream him for the first half of the week, and then you can drop him and pick somebody else up like a Carolina Hurricane. Ryan Donato, again, really flexible, really easy to add into your lineup. 2 off nights, plays all forward positions, so you can pretty much fit him anywhere in your lineup. He's 11% owned. He's got power play 1 time alongside Connor Bedard. The scoring's kind of dried up a little bit, but again, it's just more so like a floor play because he gets you some good hit volume and shot volume on top of that, and he'll chip in a block here and there. So a decent option for this upcoming week at 11% owned. You can pretty much fit him anywhere you want given his triple eligibility. Matthew Nyes has been fantastic on that top line. Talked about him last week as well. Line 1, power play 1. Skating alongside Matthews and Marner recently as well. They threw him back alongside Austin Matthews on that top line. But again, you're getting line 1, power play 1 time out of a guy who's been having an absolute breakout year this year, and the shot volume and the hits chipping in here and there will be continuing throughout the course of the season. So again, a great option if you want somebody more long-term to roster on your team, not just for this upcoming week, even though the Leafs do play 4 games and have an off night on the Sunday. Marco Rossi, again, has been great. Joel Eriksson Ek is on IR. He's sandwiched between Matt Boldy, Kirill Kaprizov. He's got 4 games, 1 off night, line 1, power play 1. An absolute must add for me. He's popped off this year. Big breakout season for him. Close to a point a game player, which is crazy. So somebody needs to give this guy his flowers. He's been great this year, and I highly recommend that you add him. Very similar to Matthew Nyes, should be a more long-term add on your team as well. Week 10 defense streams, you guys know the drill by now. Not a lot in terms of options, but given the schedule, Owen Power, pair 2, power play 1. We don't know how long Dahlin's going to be out for. He's listed as day-to-day right now, but Owen Power is skating on that top power play in Buffalo while Dahlin is out. 4 games, 3 off nights, really good schedule. He's been great. As soon as I mentioned him that he was a must-add, he just kind of had a bit of a slump there. So hopefully that turns around. But 4 games, 3 off nights, power play 1, exposure, good shot, good hit, good block volume. Alex Vlasic, a pair 1, power play 1. He's been really good as well. He's got 4 points his last 5 games. Power play 1 exposure. He's got 3 power play points in his last 10 as well. They are bringing up Kevin Korchinski. I think it was Alec Martinez that just went down with an injury. So something to keep an eye on. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Korchinski on that top power play just to see him. But again, Vlasic is a really good option either way, given the schedule. 2 off nights, pair 1, power play 1. Damon Severson has been great. Doesn't get any power play time, but for a 4-game schedule and given how good he's been production-wise at 5-on-5, he's got a good shot and block volume on top of that. So I think he's a great option for this week as well. Go look at his game log. His production's been shockingly good as of late. Bowen Byram, again, if you can't get to an Owen Power, Byram, he's a little bit more well-rounded in terms of his peripherals. Power really just shoots and blocks. He doesn't really hits. So if you count hits in your league, or if you're in like a bangers league, for example, like Bowen Byram is probably a better option. You don't get that top power play exposure. But again, the shot volume, the hit volume, the block volume is a little bit more well-rounded for Byram. So good option at 30%, given the schedule. And then Andre Miller, very similar. He's a peripherals guy. I was going to say Trouba, but Trouba just got moved to the Ducks. But Miller plays over 20 minutes a night, shoots, hits, blocks, chips in a point here and there. It's just more so a peripherals play for a deep league option if you find out that, Korchinski's playing power play 1 for Chicago and you don't want to go with Vlasic, or you want somebody just a little bit safer that has a much higher floor. And then week 10 goalie streams, not a lot this week in terms of back-to-backs, so pretty scarce, but Jake Allen against the Chicago Blackhawks is a good option. It's not a back-to-back, but I'm assuming that they give him this game. They've kind of been playing him against the weaker opponents all throughout the course of the year, so I would feel confident that he would start. And they've just been fantastic. The Devils are an absolute wagon, so I highly recommend grabbing Jake Allen if you need a goalie start on the 14th. That's towards the latter half of the week. Samuel Ersson is back, just got activated off of IR, should get the majority of starts for the Philadelphia Flyers going forward. Now, the Flyers are not good by any means, but at the same time, if you want volume and if you're in like a points league, for example, that is just more centered around having a volume goaltender, I think he's a really good option, especially at 19% owned, should be readily available. Marc-Andre Fleury will get you a back-to-back game on an off night against the Vegas Golden Knights. Obviously, Vegas is a good team, but if you're really desperate for a goalie stream on that Sunday, which a lot lot of people tend to just kind of leave to the last minute if they have an extra ad at the end and they want to just stream a goalie on an off night. Fleury should be your number one option. And then Joel Hofer on the St. Louis Blues should be a solid option against the San Jose Sharks, who are one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League. That is going to do for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the content. I will see you in the next one. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see a specific video. I've been thinking about doing a kind of pre-Christmas tier list, like revamping the tier list that we did earlier on in the season as a live stream. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments down below if that's something that you would be interested in. But other than that, should have a trade targets video coming out soon. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and good luck in week 10 of fantasy hockey.